All right, guys, another exciting episode of Penny's Hot Rod and Customs. Will we get this engine running this video? Stay tuned. Anyway, before I get into this whole engine here, I just want to say last week when I painted my Henry J, I did it all, literally all by myself. I had a few problems here and there during the process of painting and whatnot, but the color is metallic ocean blue. I don't know much about the paints and everything else, but it's what I liked and what I wanted, so it's got about 2 to 3 good heavy coats on it, and like I said, I pushed it out yesterday after a little snowstorm, and yeah, no, I like it. It's not bad. So like I said, I wish I could tell you more about paint, but by no means, guys, I'm not a painter. I don't know nothing. That's the true story. So anyway, back to this guy. That's what this video is going to be. This little 327. We're going to pull off the Performer intake, get rid of that, and we'll save that for another future project down the road. We're going to put this Portasonic, people. Doesn't that just sound racy or futuristic? So anyway, that's the manifold I'm going to run. It's a single plane, not a dual plane. And it's got a nice little oil breather, so it kind of looks the part. I'll show you valve covers in a minute I'm going to run. But I'm going to go to Dynamic in a bit there and help those guys. I'm going to clean them up and drill some holes for some breathers and whatnot. Here's the carb I'm going to be running. I bought this last year from a guy off Facebook, Marketplace Facebook. Claimed it ran good. They all do. So, but anyway, I've got a cart or a rebuilt kit, and we'll go through and kind of just give it a once over. It does have different metering plates, so something's been going on in there. Like I said, it looks clean and everything, but who knows? So we'll just quickly go through that. And here's the valve covers here. I'm just going to take them to Dynamic, and I've got some little moon breathers for the side that I bought, I don't know, years and years and years ago. So we'll use those for that. I did manage to buy the new intake gasket kit for this. It's a 1206. Apparently it's a thicker intake manifold. The gentleman that builds these engines, he recommended it for when you swap out intake, like for these anyway. He said with these Patriot heads or a lot of aftermarket ones, he says run a thicker intake gasket. So now I take his word at it. So anyway, I guess I'll put the camera down and we'll start pulling off the intake and valve covers and see what's in all this stuff, and we'll see what's what. And yes, that did make it back in. I gotta put it back in retirement. Like I said, we got about 5 to 6 inches of snow this past few days. Buh, screw you, spring. I bought a couple starters. So anyway, we'll put the camera down, enough working. Let's pull this thing apart. I did start taking off a few of these intakes these intake bolts prior to filming any of this stuff, but so I'm not sure what we'll use this intake for, but I'm sure it'll be down the road, use it for something else. Pardon me. My tray here is getting full of bolts and everything. I gotta just clean that out. Oh, I gotta dig out a rad too. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ugh. There's the old intake. Oh. Pretty darn clean. Alright, I'll show you. I'll start pulling off the valve cover, and yeah, we'll get going. Huh. Even has in all the, I'll show you guys in a minute, but all the little oil galleries here, he silicone and put in mesh. I've seen you can buy little mesh kits. Even like a little windage tray for the lifters and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. Get pulling these valve covers off, and yeah. See, if I was smart enough, I might even have a socket. Ooh, I do. I do. Yeah, To be honest, I'm not a fan of these valve covers, so I think they're going to be swap meet material this year, which will be coming up next month. Huh. Oh, my shoulder's still sore. Comp cam rockers 1.5. Fancy head bolts. Anyway, I'll show you guys this. All right. A little windage tray, but yeah, that's what I was talking about, the little mesh and all the oil galleries. I'm sure that can pick it up, and then in the front there I've noticed. Well, it's hard to see from here, but yeah. So yeah. So what I guess I'll do, I'll start taking off this other valve cover, and yeah, then I'm gonna shove a bunch of rags down in here. I got the blue cloth ones here, and I'll tape this all up, and then we'll rip this gasket off. But yeah, 1206, so that's what he always says, just run those ones. So I tend to take his word. Alrighty guys, we'll be back. I'm gonna put the camera down because like I said, it's just gonna be cleaning and scraping this stuff up, so blech. Actually, I'll probably put this valve cover back on. I was just curious what was under here. Okay guys, I finished cleaning up the cylinder heads. The gasket's gone. Actually, I'm gonna put my glasses back on. I don't know what, well, you know it's serious when you gotta put your glasses, you take them off. So I've got everything pretty cleaned up. Actually, I even did find a little piece of debris in that little screen, so that's working and it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to take this little valve cover tray off and just make sure there's nothing that got in there or whatever, just in case, but I'll show you what I've done. But yeah, so it's pretty clean. I'm going to tape it up, and I'll degrease everything and give it just a once over before we put the intake on. And I'm going to, might as well, while I'm doing it, do the water pump. Okay, so I'm back with and reunited with my old blue friend, the Sound Blaster. Haven't seen old blue in a while. Anyway, so this is what I've been doing. I did clean up the bottom pulley, got rid of all the rust. I think that'll work for right now until I find maybe a single groove. We'll see. Did that the top pulley, and so I started drilling out my valve covers there for my breathers. That bolts there with the gasket, and I already did that side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll just spend a few minutes sandblasting, clean them up, and blow them off. See if I can get rid of whatever little stain that is. Just waiting for Chris, then we're going to go for lunch, and then we're going to finish off today. That Dodge way over there, the slave cylinder and all that stuff came in today. So finish that off, and then I'll go back home to work on this stuff. So just a little update. We'll sandblast this stuff up, and I'll show you what it looks like in a few minutes. I'm not gonna, you know, old blue, I hope it doesn't let me down. Okay, so I'm back home. Ran into one little snag. Today's Good Friday, everything's closed, but tomorrow everything hopefully should be open. If not, I'm gonna order something from Rock Auto, but I'll see locally. Well, here, I'll tell you about this first. Here's I thought I had a flywheel. But when I bought a tranny, this came with this type of flywheel. It looks like it has some sort of clutch disc in the flywheel. I've never seen that before. So I was hoping that this was going to be my flywheel I was going to use for this. But when I took it all apart, like here's the clutch and everything else for it, and the I wasn't going to use the clutch or the pressure plate. I just wanted the flywheel. But when I seen that it had this guy in it, so I've never ever seen anything like that before. So I'm hooped for a flywheel. And then I had this new one in stock that when I bought a bunch of parts, my tranny and everything else. But this is for a one-piece rear main seal. And it, I mic'd it up, and where the crank goes, it's way too small. Like you'd be cutting right into there. So tomorrow, like I said, Saturday, hopefully everything's open. So I'll see if I can get one locally if it's not too much money. If not, I'll order it through Rock Auto. So that's going to be a snafu, but I'm still going to be able to get this thing running because I can just put that flywheel on, or I'll just put a ring gear on or whatever. So I guess I'm going to, I got the gaskets there. I've got my goop, so I'm going to start gooping that stuff up. I'll put the intake on it, and then we'll do a few other things, and yeah, I'll prime the engine and whatnot, and we'll just keep plugging away at this. But yeah, that really set me back there. Yeah, oh well. Like I said, honestly, because my plan was I was just going to take when I went to Ryan's work, and I was just going to get him to face the flywheel, and then, hey, off to the races. But well, here's a little update. This is a kick in the nuts. I was told about this, and nothing's lining up. Crazy. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I'm about an 1/8 inch out. My bolts are loose in here. where I gotta go. But as you can see, I am out to lunch. Fudge. That is crazy. And it's all the way on this side. Like I said, I even took these bolts out. Oh, looks like I might be running the manifold that it came with. Huh. That is a kick in the nuts. Even I take my glasses off. And then that's where it's got to go. And I am, as you can see right there, I'm out to lunch all on that side. So I guess before everything sets up, I'm going to put the old intake back on. This is a kick in the nuts. Huh. I am curious why this happened. Alrighty, so, well, that was a waste of time, so it looks like we're going to put the other intake back on. Alrighty, just giving you a heads up that I'm not losing my mind here, but just to show you guys. Crap. Alrighty. Okay, honestly guys, sometimes it's just better to be a drunk and not do anything. Just kidding. Just one of these days, I had a monkey around with my oil pressure, that's hooked up. A long time ago, I just cobbled up an old distributor, so that goes in here, that way I can prime it. That's in the oil pump there. I got my ratchet on there, so that way when we do build up oil pressure, I'll turn that block around, that make sure the oil's getting everywhere. Oh, you know guys, it's just one of those days. One of those days. Alright. We're at 40 pounds. Alright. No oil leaks. No oil leaks. Alright. Now I'll just turn over the block a bit. And just make sure we're getting adequate oil everywhere before we try to. Perfect. Lots of oil pressure. All right. Okay guys, I think we're going to call that good for oil pressure. Try not to get oil everywhere. Alright. Alright. So I guess I'll find out where top dead center is and we'll stab a distributor in. I'm still not impressed about the intake. But actually what I found out what he did was he actually slotted the one side of the intake bolts. Now, knowing what I know now, I would have probably done the same thing, but then I'm going to wreck a set of gaskets, and that's everything I think he did anyway, so I'll speak to him next time and ask him about it. But I did remember him speaking to him about that before, so kind of disappointing, but oh well, it is what it is. Actually, it's kind of a blessing, yes and no, but the rad I ordered for this thing, it has an outlet on the opposite side that the tube's going, or the same side the tube's kind of going or whatever, so like for the draft tube, so that kind of would have been in a way, and I would have had to run a straight up thermostat housing anyway, so anyway, it is what it is. So I guess what I'll do, I'll just find top dead center and all that, and then we'll get a gasket and we'll stab it in the distributor. So yeah, at least we'll make some progress today. I might even try to bolt up a flywheel to, or a ring gear up to it and put the starter in, and then I think that'll be good for today. Like I said, today was kind of just a write-off. At least I put a carb on it, so it kind of, you know, made it kind of look cool. And also stop anything from going in. It's the way my luck's been going today. All right. Okay, guys. Next morning, I've done a few things to this anyway. I did try to mount that flywheel I had over there. It wouldn't work with the starter, so I just put just an automatic ring gear on it with the starter. So it actually does work. I've cranked it over and no grinding, no binding, so that's the bonus. Fuel pumps in, water pumps in. I chose to use this one, obviously, well, it's just brand new anyway, but it's a shorty, and that really is a problem for me. So I gotta dig around, because that guy doesn't line, and I think I've got a pulley that bolts up to here, so it shouldn't be an issue. If worse comes to worse, if I can't make anything work, I'll just buy a new water pump. But it's just nice to have that one. It's brand new. It's got a long story behind it, so it'd be nice to actually use it on here. Let's see. Carb I'm gonna bolt down in a few minutes. For the heck of it, I just used the distributor that came with it. The guy I bought off, he just threw it in there. He said it was a good working distributor. It's some sort of crane ignition thing in it, 7,000 RPM. I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I did just Google it, and I did temporary wire it up to the coil and to my power, and I do crank this over. It does have spark, so that's a bonus. So I guess what I'm going to do now is, I said I was going to take this carb apart. I did look at it a while ago, shortly thereafter I bought it. Everything did look good, so I'm going to just put some fuel in and just see if I can make this thing bark a little bit anyway. I hate to do it, but this is an old, well, not old nostalgic, but I had it for a long time, bolts for the carb there, so I'm going to use that. So I'm going to have to crack that open. I've been waiting for the right moment, and then I guess we'll bolt the valve covers down and see what's what. Okay, so I'm back at the working on the little small block here. I've looked everywhere. I can't find any pulleys to make this thing work. So what I'm basically going to do, well, what I've already done is just took the rad hose off, filled with water, and as you can see, I made a mess. But at least there's water in it. I'm not going to run it very long, just enough so I can get the timing gun on it and actually see how it actually sounds anyway. I did have it pop in, or it actually fired up right before when I first started everything, but we'll try it now. I'll put the GoPro down, and I did prime the carburetor, everything else. So we'll try to make some noise here. We'll try anyway. I'll try, like I said, I'm not even exactly sure where I got the timing. I'm hoping it's somewhere close, but I promise nothing. Battery is hooked up. That's a little bit there. Go. Okay, here we go. Probably should have those off the headers. Yeah, maybe I'll grab some zip ties. We'll zip tie those off the old manifold there. So yeah, we'll be back. I'm gonna, you guys did hear it run. I'm just gonna do a few, I'll get these things off here, that way they don't burn. So yeah, it is running. Well, it only ran for a second, but I'll monkey around here and we'll get it running a little better here. Alright, let's try this again. I zippy tied up some stuff here. Okay, go. Running out of fuel. I'm not picking up fuel. for whatever reason, we're not picking up fuel. I'm thinking maybe my fuel pump might not be any good. Okay guys, what I've determined is my fuel pump is no good. I did crank it a bunch of times. I did have it running again. I can't see if it was getting fuel pressure or not. I did take this line off, run it back into a container just to see if it was spitting anything. It wasn't, so I'm thinking my fuel pump is dead. I looked for my electric fuel pump. I don't have the fittings right here, and it's Sunday and everything's closed. So I'm going to try running it one more time, and then I'm just going to leave it because I don't want to just keep cranking and running or whatever. And like I said, I've got my timing gun, but I'm going to wait till I get a proper, either I'll buy a fuel pump, just a cheapy thing to get it running, or wait till it's in the car and then hook up my fuel pump and do it properly, and then I can set the timing in the car. Either or. But like I said, my fuel pump, I took it out, I inspected, make sure it was in right, and of course it was. And the fuel pump push rod is moving freely, so that's not an issue. So I think that's my problem. Like I said, I can't see if I'm getting pressure up there, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Like I said, it's pretty hard to man two things here, and it's not running long enough that I can do that. So I'm thinking I'll try it again, and that's where we'll try, and we'll leave it till it's in the car. But you guys did hear it run. And they did hear it inside the house, so it runs. So we'll try it again. But like I said, this fuel pump I've had for how long, I don't even know. I just dug it out of the shelf, who knows. So we'll try it again. I just want to make sure my connections are tight. They are. Everything else is good. And then when I'm running it is, actually I do see oil pressure, so that's a bonus. So we'll go on. Alright, last time here, guys. That's just old oil that's on the headers and whatnot, and debris and stuff that's been on. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this video. We'll wrap it up and talk about it for a minute here. I can give you guys the specs on the engine probably in the next video, or I can even do it tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm pretty disappointed that the intake manifold wouldn't fit, but after talking to him, I had to ream it out or hog it out, and like I said, he did actually modify the runners in this thing just so they line up, but that I didn't know. Well, actually, he did tell me. I just forgot all about it because it's been 2 years since this thing's actually ran. So, but yeah, I can give you guys the cam spec and all that stuff and what's been done to it and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'll probably wait till it's, well, I'll put a timing gun on. I might get a fuel pump maybe tomorrow or the next day and do that, but probably won't see that anyway. And I'll button up a few things. And like I said, maybe I'll wait till I get another set of hands because I do have one of these doors. There's my timing gun. So we'll do that. And like I said, it was great oil pressure. It was just boom, full oil pressure, so I couldn't be happier. So I guess that's maybe where I'm going to leave this video. Like I said, I was disappointed with the intake wouldn't fit. The valve covers, that was a, oh well, I'm not too worried about it. I can use those valve covers for something else. I already got something in mind, but yeah, what it is. But like I said, I'll sandblast these headers up next, and then I'll do that one night this week, and then paint them flat white. Everywhere I went yesterday, they didn't have white header paint, so maybe that's an issue, but I'll go to Canadian Tire. Other than that, like I said, Boog, this morning, me and him, we ordered the flywheel today. Throw-out bearing. I do have 2 clutch forks here, the bolts for that, and a few other things that I need. So I think in the next video, we'll just put this together. I'll pick out a C-can or a scatter shield. I'll probably use that one. I'm going to use the other 4-speed I have in the garage. And then, yeah, we'll put this thing together. We should have everything here. and maybe we'll even run it in the car. We'll see. My rad should be back here on the 14th. They're saying the 14th. That's when I ordered it, and something else that I ordered for this that'll be in an upcoming video. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, don't criticize me that I didn't have a proper coolant hooked up on this thing, but I was just trying to cobble it together to get it running. Like I said, I couldn't find any pulleys here. I've got them, but I just can't find them right now. So I think they're in storage, and I didn't feel like walking in 2 feet of snow for 50 feet or an 1/8 mile. So anyway, as always, guys, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, good or bad. What do you think about this? Like I said, don't criticize me. But yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. And don't worry, those yellow wires will go off. I'm going to order nice black ones this week. Because you know, once you go black. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next ones. Adios, guys.